All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eve Basics episode 237. I'm trying to soup stuff up around here. It's not really episode 237. It's maybe 23. That could be accurate. This is PvE Algos. I've got my nice microphone here and my green screen behind me, so you can't tell what's going on back here. I could be recording these videos from the pits of hell, and you would never know. What's that? No more jokes, so you turn the flames back on? Okay. Okay. Well, let's get down to it. So the Algos is a ship that's really well suited for level 2 security missions. You can do anomalies, high-sec anomalies in this. You could do some low-sec belt ratting in this thing. It's a pretty sturdy little boat, and we're going to test it out later. I'm going to intro this build to you first, and then we are going to go build it, and we are going to fly it around for a little while. The first thing we're going to notice about this build is how tight it is, and we will deal with that later. In order for me to get this build, and I have pretty good fit skills, I had to put a processor overclock and an ancillary current router. This guy here boosts up your CPU on your ship, so you have more, and this one boosts up your power grid, so you have more. And I needed both of these to even make this fit. Without it, it's all blinky, and it makes me sad. So we'll talk about how to fix fitting issues later. You know, my CPU management's maxed out, and so is my power grid management, and that might not be the case for everyone. So I realize that we're going to have to do some stuff here, but whatever. So there's a full rack of 5 blasters up here at the top, and a lot of DPS comes off of these, 145 DPS from blasters alone. Now the range on these is sillily short. I mean, you have to be parked inside the enemy in order to use these, but you're pretty nimble in a destroyer, so I think that on cruisers and things like that, we should be able to get in on them and then maintain a really tight orbit while we just blast them to shreds. And the tracking is not going to even be an issue. We should be able to orbit at 500 just fine. This turret tracking of 677.38 is bonkers. So these are the Meta 4 ion blasters. The Anode light ion particle cannons rolls right off the tongue. And so there's 5 of them up there. And they're running Federation Navy Antimatter because that's the highest DPS. And their range is pathetic anyway, so it's not like loading them with thorium or something or like anything else is going to really... We still have to be parked inside the enemy to use these. So we're just going to go with this and see what happens. This is a compact Microwarpdrive because I already had fitting problems, so I got to compact it. But honestly, the Tech 1 version sucks, and the compact one is awesome, and the Tech 2 is not that much better. So like the compact is just kind of the way to go here. The Medium Shield Extender 2. Now this is the guy we got to really talk about here. Medium Shield Extender 2 is a fantastic module that's not really that hard to train into. You only need science upgrades. Oh, for science upgrades, that'd be cool. Shield upgrades 4 and some other jank stuff down here to use these. It's really nice to train into these. Where we're going to save the most fit space is going to cost us the most ISK. And this is why this module is so expensive, is because you always kind of seem to want to fit it. And it is the compact shield extender guy. This will save us a decent chunk of fit. Now we're pulled back from the edges a little bit, and this might be enough to get most people with middling skills to be able to fit this. The problem is it jacks our price up. Instead of 1 million for the Tech 2, it's 3.7 mil. So yeah, you're going to pay for it, but there might be other ways around the fitting tightness. We'll talk about that later. This is the Enduring Multispectrum Shield Hardener because the Algos with this fit has just god-awful capacitor. Without my Microwarpdrive running, even with the Enduring version of this and only my blasters on, I'm still not cap stable, which is super sad. It's a passive shield fit, so I do drain a little bit of my capacitor with my shield regen here, but it's pretty sad. So the Enduring version of this is almost mandatory, at least on this fit, in order to stay cap stable so that your defense doesn't turn off in the middle of fighting. So without these on, you know, if you're running, well, you know, whoever runs one gun, you group them, right? Right? You group them. So, you know, when you're not running your blasters here, okay, you can get a little cap back while you jet to your next target or whatever. But the cap on this is going to be a little bit tight. Damage control 2, because damage control is good. I don't know what else to say about it. Put it on stuff. It's good. The Mark 1 Compact Shield Power Relay, this gives us more passive regen because this is a passive shield fit here on this Algos. So 14 hit point a second, but you got to remember that this is like your average passive regen, and this peaks at when your shield is at 25%. And so I believe the math is, and I've said this in other videos and no one's corrected me yet, is that it is 2.5 times stronger when you are at 25% shield. So you're really getting back 35 hit points a second, and that's a pretty good amount of healing, of shield regen, as it were. So that's good. And I put a DDA on here because it's a drone boat, and that way our drones are better. Okay. You could also compact this. You could compact this. Again, both of those choices are going to cost you more ISK, I believe, in the long run, especially the damage control. The damage control 2 is grossly cheap, 400k, I believe, for damage control 2. So you could compact either one of those. You can't compact this because your battery will fail. We've already compacted this, and compacting this is expensive but doable. So the more compact you need to go, the fine. So in order for me to fit this, I need to do ancillary current and processor overclock up here in my rig. So that leaves me with one rig choice. I'm going with thermal shield reinforcer. So that jacks my thermal resist up to 61%, which is much nicer than 47%. We're just running Fed Navy Antimatter S on here, and we're running Hornet 1s and Vespa 1s. If you have the ISK, go to the integrated versions of these guys. You won't be disappointed. And if you have the skills in ISK, go to the Tech 2 because the Tech 2 is even better. The good thing about the integrated is that they have, where's the requirements? They basically have no real requirements to do the integrated ones, right? They're really nice. The problem is that they get a little bit expensive. You could just integrate the Hornets and probably be okay, and that would be just fine. You'll pick up... well, let's integrate the Vespas too. So what DPS were we at before? Somewhere around 270 or something like that. Let's do some integrated Vespas and see what happens. Yeah, so you're going to pick up another extra 20 DPS if you integrate, but now we're getting up here in the costies, and we might not want to spend 4.5 million ISK on some integrated Vespas and another math hard 3 million ISK on this. So I mean, we're adding 7.5 million ISK for 20 DPS. Probably not worth in the long run. But we're going to see what this thing can handle. I'm going to jump back to Dodixie. Actually, we're going to go to Ania. We're going to get a level 2 security mission. We're going to fly it in this. We're going to get a level 3 security mission. We're going to fly it in this. And we're going to meet back here and talk about how it did. All right. See you then.